The UE Megablast is the newest big-name speaker on the market right now, and what makes this speaker so special is Alexa integration and its 360-degree sound. But I thought it'd be a good idea to compare it to another popular 360-degree speaker, the Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus, and the extremely popular JBL Xtreme. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and you can watch some of my other videos here after you're done watching this video. Now remember, this isn't a full review on either of these speakers. I'm just trying to point out the most important differences between them so I can help you with your purchase decision. One of the main reasons I want to compare these three speakers is because of price. They all retail for $300, but they're all drastically different from one another. The UE Megablast is the most advanced, the Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus is the most elegant, and the JBL Xtreme is the most versatile. And you can actually get the JBL Xtreme for as low as $212 on Amazon right now. If you want to pick either of these speakers up, I'll have links in the description below, and I'll keep them updated so you can get the best deal possible. First up, let's go over design. The Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus is the smallest and most elegant speaker in this lineup. The majority of the body is made up of metal with milled holes, and there are soft touch rubber end caps on both the top and bottom. There's also a carrying handle, which makes taking the speaker with you on the go super easy. This speaker screams classy. The JBL Xtreme and UE Megablast are pretty similar. They both have nylon weave bodies and soft touch plastic end caps. But the JBL Xtreme is the largest speaker in this lineup and has exposed passive radiators on each side. And you can also either lay it flat or stand it on its side. And if you plan on taking the speaker with you somewhere, you can easily attach a shoulder strap to it. Whereas the UE Megablast doesn't have any kind of handle on it, so carrying it around can get a little awkward at times. You can also only stand it up straight, but it is a good looking speaker nonetheless. I just find it a little funny, if you're going to charge the Megablast, you essentially have to stand it upside down. Now, I want to talk about ports and buttons because I think it's super important for a $300 speaker. The Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus has a full set of very tactile buttons on the top of the speaker. You can manually control your music playback, adjust your volume, switch from 3 audio sources, aux jack, micro USB, or Bluetooth, and if you press and hold the multi-purpose button, you can activate your voice assistant of choice. And on the back, you'll find your micro USB port for charging and an aux jack if you want to use a wired connection. The JBL Xtreme has 2 USB ports on the back so you can charge your own devices, also has an aux jack and uses an AC in port for charging. And on top, you also have a full set of buttons to control your music playback and activate your voice assistant. Whereas the UE Megablast has gotten rid of its aux jack and you can't use the micro USB port as a wired connection like the Bose. And as a result, you can only use a Bluetooth connection on the Megablast, which wouldn't have been as big as a problem if it at least had aptX HD audio. The UE Megablast also only has a volume up and volume down button on the front and a power button and Bluetooth button on the top. If you want to control your music playback on the Megablast without using your phone, you have to do it by telling Alexa. But like I said in my initial review, the Alexa voice commands will only work if you're using a supported streaming service and if the speaker itself is connected to Wi-Fi. So if the Megablast isn't connected to Wi-Fi, or if you're streaming music from an unsupported streaming service or a different source, then the Alexa voice commands won't work and you can only control your music playback directly from your phone. And I just feel the Megablast is over-reliant on Alexa. If you're not using it under the ideal conditions or using one of the supported streaming services, then not having a physical play pause button is very annoying. There are just some times where being able to pause or skip a track directly from your speaker is the easiest method. And I don't understand why UE took away the tap functionality that the Megaboom had. Because on the Megaboom, if you tapped once, it would pause a track, and if you double tapped, it would skip a track. UE's Megablast over-reliance on Alexa only makes it suitable for people who are heavily invested in the Amazon ecosystem. Alexa, what's the weather like in New York City?
Today, you can look for mostly sunny weather, with a high of 38 degrees and a low of 24 degrees.
When it comes to connectivity, the UE Megablast also drops the ball. It can only be connected to one device at a time, whereas both the Bose and JBL can be connected to 2 devices at a time. So switching from one device to another is super easy and convenient. But when it comes to ruggedness, the UE Megablast is the toughest of the group. The Megablast carries an IP67 rating, which means it's both water and dustproof, whereas the Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus is only IPX4 certified, which means it can get a little wet and you shouldn't drop it in water. And the JBL Xtreme is just water resistant. So again, a little water won't harm it, but still don't submerge it or let it get too wet. When it comes to battery life, all three of these speakers are pretty neck and neck. Both the Bose and Megablast advertise a battery life of 16 hours, and the JBL Xtreme advertises a battery life of 15 hours. But when it comes to real-world performance, the UE Megablast averages about 10 hours of playback time even with Alexa turned off, whereas the Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus averages 13 hours of playback time at a moderate volume, and the JBL Xtreme overperforms with an average battery life of 16 hours. Now, when it comes to sound quality, all three of these speakers sound very different. Now remember, the UE Megablast and Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus are both 360-degree speakers, and the JBL Xtreme only shoots out sound out the front.
Your eyes and see. We are the ones who know the answers, and they ain't never gonna hold us back. The sea is rising like we dancers. Imagine love without a purpose. A picture everything you're fighting for. A picture everything you're fighting for.
Now, like I said on my initial review, the UE Megablast has a good amount of bass, but it also has some pretty weak lows and mids and ear-piercing highs, whereas the Bose has much more tamed highs, a much more even sound signature, and has some better performing lows, but not as much thumping bass. But the Bose really likes to push the mids and vocals forward, which some people like and others don't. The highs on the JBL are a little bit more present than on the Bose, but they're not as harsh as the Megablast. But in JBL fashion, the Xtreme does have a lot of trouble. The mids and vocals aren't as emphasized like they are on the Bose, but I do feel the lows on the Xtreme are almost as good as the Bose, and I do feel the Xtreme has almost as much bass as the Megablast. Essentially, the Xtreme is kind of like a compromise between these two speakers. And at max volume, all three of these speakers get just as loud. They all hover around the low to mid 80s decibel range. But at max volume, I feel the Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus is the best sounding in this group. Because at max volume, the UE Megablast has a lot of rollout from the bass, and the highs constantly pierce your ears. And when the JBL Xtreme is at max volume, it's really just pushing out a whole bunch of treble. And there's one more thing I want to point out about each of these speakers, and that's pairing them to other speakers. For starters, if you already have other UE speakers and you were planning on pairing the Megablast to them, you can't. You can't even pair the Megablast to its smaller brother, the UE Blast, as of right now, which is just mind-boggling these days. It's a pretty standard feature. If you plan on getting the JBL Xtreme, it can only pair to all the JBL speakers using JBL Connect and not JBL Connect Plus. So the JBL Xtreme can't pair to newer JBL speakers like the JBL Flip 4, JBL Pulse 3, JBL Boombox, or any future JBL speakers that might get announced at CES 2018. But the Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus can pair to most current Bose speakers. So, in conclusion, I feel the UE Megablast falls short in a few key areas. First off, if you aren't heavily invested in the Amazon ecosystem, then the Megablast won't work to its fullest capacity. The lack of basic functions like pairing it to other speakers, not having the option of using a wired connection, and not having a manual way to control your music playback is a major inconvenience. And when it comes to sound quality, the Megablast is the worst sounding speaker in this group. Like I said on my initial review, the Megablast's over-reliance on Alexa is more of a handicap than anything else. The Bose Soundlink Revolve Plus is a great option if you want something elegant and if you want something for easy listening. I don't really have any complaints about the Revolve Plus, it's a great at-home speaker. But I'm still a really big fan of the JBL Xtreme. It's a very versatile speaker that looks good at home, and if you're gonna take it with you somewhere, the shoulder strap really comes in handy. The sound quality could use some improvements, but the Xtreme is still a great option even after being on the market for more than 2 years now. If you decide to get the JBL Xtreme, it's an all-around good speaker, but I am willing to bet there might be a JBL Xtreme 2 announced at CES 2018. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It helps out more than you realize. For more product reviews and deal alerts, check out jimcaddy.net. If you want to support the channel, pick up a shirt, and I'll catch you next time.